doubt, she's now 37,
Yes.
with no prospects in sight, so.
Okay, folks, good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and the first item is a pledge. If you all stand up and recite the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item on agenda is approval of minutes for December 7th, 2022, January 25th, 2023, and February 22nd, 2023. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second? Okay, we got a motion and a second. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Okay, minutes are approved. Next is any new correspondence at this time?
No, there is not.
Okay. Both cases are new business. The first case is VOE 2023-27. Applicant Manus III and Courtney Hill, location 518 South 250 West and 512 South 250 West, Valparaiso, Indiana. Zones is A1, Ag, General Ag, request to vacate the no SS easement in Porter Minor Subdivision, 1149-A-1, and allow petitioners to have separate driveways. Okay, if you come up here and state,
He's got to read them.
okay.
And the staff report. Conduct of hearings. At a public hearing before the commission, the petitioner or proponent shall first present the facts and arguments in support of the case. Those who oppose the petitioner shall follow. The petitioner shall have rebuttal. It shall be within the discretion of the commission to oppose any time limitation, either the petitioner or the respondent, and to limit public comment to those determined by state statute to be interested parties. The written remonstrances shall be accepted by the commission, but need not be read into the commission's record, and then concludes the public hearing to maintain orderly procedure. Each side shall proceed without interruption by the other. In presentation of a case, the burden shall be upon the petitioner to supply all information necessary for a clear understanding of the problem. The commission may continue and the hearing when, in its judgment, the petitioner has not provided sufficient evidence on which to make a determination. Every person appearing before the commission shall abide by the order and discretion of the president. Discourteous, disorderly, or contemptuous conduct shall be regarded as a breach of the privileges of the commission and shall be dealt with as each commission directs. This particular case, some that's been around here for a few years may remember a couple years ago that another petitioner came in requesting this same item. This particular 4-lot minor subdivision was done prior to our current code, and at that time it was requested at DRC for the approval of it by our county engineer to put in no access easements and try to focus the drives on property lines, so there would be only 2 ingress and egresses in areas for the 4 lots, trying to limit access. A couple years ago, some police officers came in here and got the waiver to get rid of that easement across their lots, and these people are requesting the same thing. That waiver was requested, or I should say the easement vacation. The reason why it's here before the Plan Commission is because it was the Plan Commission approved easement.
Okay, thank you. Okay, state your name and address.
Todd Mayer, 1008 Burlington Beach Road, Valparaiso.
Yeah.
And I'm Courtney Hale. Address is 115 West Division Road, Valparaiso.
Okay, and state why you need the variance or petition.
Okay, well, this is
The owner of the 2 lots.
the owner that they have 2 lots. I'm the builder.
Okay.
Her husband, Maine, is on duty out of the country, so I'm here to help represent her.
Okay.
They have 2 lots, which are the 2 north and the 2 on the south have homes there, and that, I think, is what he was referring to as they asked for a new easement to the, highway permit or whatever for a driveway. So the way that it is designed with their 2 lots is they come in on the property line and they separate and go around. And that makes for a more of an expense and, more of a driveway. So we're trying to set it up where at least lot 2 would have a straight in, to the driveway, to the garage.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah,
That's
pretty,
it.
yeah, that's pretty much what we're gonna do.
Okay. So public hearing, anybody want to speak in favor of this case? In favor? Seeing none, anybody want to speak against or any questions on this case? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Luther?
I have no problem.
Okay. Kevin?
Not a problem. We did it for others. We can do it for them in this community anyway.
Nikki?
I'm good.
Mr. Sims? Good.
Fine.
Commissioner?
I'm good.
No issues.
Brian?
I just have one simple question. Are you saying these 2 houses have a shared entrance? Is that what you said?
Well, the 2 on the south,
Yeah.
which are built and refers back to them changing theirs. Now, court,
Bob will explain it,
oh, okay.
make it easier.
Because I don't see it on the aerial imaging, it doesn't
See
look
this
like that.
driveway here, it's hard to see, but it comes out,
Okay.
it curls right in here. There was an easement put across here, a no access easement that goes across the lot here, and a no access easement to go across the lot here to force this house too, to also put it in this way. So that way, you have one location. They're building up in here.
Yes.
The same easement comes across here and comes across up in here, forcing the driveway entrances to be right here on this property line.
Yeah. But these 2 do have a shared entrance? The southern one? Or?
We didn't
close
make
to
it
each
a
other.
shared entrance. What we did is we left 20 feet open on each side, so that way the people, they would have to put their driveway in that location. We're not telling them to have a shared driveway and split off. We're just saying, put them in this
Yeah.
location. So that way it's a shared type entrance. So you only have one stop for garbage, bus, all that.
Okay.
No.
Any questions? No?
Nope.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve VOE 2023-27.
Okay, do we have a motion and a second? Is it voice vote or ballot?
Ballot.
Okay.
Second, I'm sorry.
I did.
Thank you.
Give me this pen. Holding this up.
I hand them to you when they get to me, don't from me. I wasn't listening.
I saw.
I'm being
It was like a service. In a sense, that's what they had originally.
It might be pink right now.
Reversed it to
Oh,
get just 2.
Yeah. See, he came in and got approval.
So basically, they want the same person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Well, he said usually I do,
I just,
but my
I thought he
daughter
had said
emptied my
these
purse.
2
yeah.
did
it's-
what they were
Like 10 or
being asked to
15.
do.
Right.
And I'm
Somebody
like, I
emptied
don't
my
see
purse.
that
Yeah.
here. It's a 2
All of my
driveway.
pets,
Yeah.
except for Mojo Blue. Well,
Wasn't
I mean,
me,
it's
though.
pink or black right now. so anyway.
Having anything against it, just wanted
Yeah, well, no, sure.
to learn.
Who said blame my daughter? I guess it could have been my son, the way he took out the permit marker.
Are you getting to somewhere? Seem to.
Not by
I'll let you go ahead and.
All right, voting is as follows. Kevin Brightsky, yes. Brian Damage, yes.
That's
Bob
the first
Kiliani,
one, and
yes.
we go to-
Pamela Fish,
that'll go to our
yes.
second case.
Barb Regnans, yes. Greg Sims, yes. Luther Williams, yes. Nikki Woodkowski, yes. Rick Burns, yes. Motion carries 9-0.
Okay, motion's approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's approved, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
You're-
All right, thank you
you're-
very
you're
much.
approved.
Thank you.
Okay, next case is PR-21-0056, applicant TJZ Properties LLC, care of Todd Leaf, Hepner, Wagner, and Evans. Project is Skyway Industrial Park Major Subdivision. Location is 392 East US Highway 30, Valparaiso, in Washington Township. Zoning is I-1, Light Industrial District. request primary plat approval for proposed 10-lot subdivision.
There we go. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Todd Leith. I'm the attorney for the owner and your petitioner tonight, TJZ Properties. I'm joined tonight by Randy Peterson from Abba Marsh. Abba Marsh is the design professionals, consulting engineers on the project. Jim Zimmer is a representative of the ownership. And we're here seeking a primary plat approval for an industrial subdivision. It's an industrial subdivision, kind of out of the ordinary. We don't see too many of those, but there is a provision in the UDO that provides for all of the bulk and area requirements, just like you do for R1's subdivisions, lot sizes and lot coverage and all of those things. And that's in your UDO. We only have 10 lots on nearly 30 acres in this subdivision. This is a continuation of an existing meets and bounds or unrecorded subdivision plat that was started by the owners many years ago, just prior to the adoption of the Unified Development Ordinance. So that's why it was allowed to proceed at that point in time. If you will, somewhat unregulated, but done well at the time. And that is what is today Pilot Drive. And so this subdivision is going to pick the end of, or the west end of Pilot Drive and continue it on through the 30 acres out to Merva Hill and continue now a recorded subdivision. So this is an aerial showing the property in question for tonight. You can see Merva Hill Road is our northern boundary in this area, and of course on the other side of Merva Hill is the Porter County Airport. And so this is the road, Pilot Drive, that will extend out and then up to Merva Hill. But it's existing today off of 400 East. There are, I believe, 3 or 4 lots that are currently developed in that, if you will, meets and bounds subdivision that was created many years ago. And you can see our development is kind of just an extension of that. It's zoned I-1 Light Industrial District, so our zoning complies and allows us to utilize Section 6.21 of the UDO for the subdivision portion. So we've got the right zoning, we fit. And so this is the primary plat, and you can see what I showed you on the aerial. Platted now as public right-of-way will be Pilot Drive as it comes through and goes out to Merva Hill.
It's just down from.
And our new lots then are on either side of it, kind of at this area. This is the new part over here. This is the 30 acres we're talking about. And then we're coming down here with now a new platted road. We think that's important. It's important because Pilot Drive today, as it ends at this point, if I can get my laser back up, there we go. As Pilot Drive ends at this point, off of the public road, off of 400 East, it's a private drive. And so we don't want a public and a private drive to meet. It just kind of creates all sorts of confusion, maintenance concerns for our private plow as well as the county plows. So we want it to all be public. And so that's anticipated by this plat, and we picked that up. So Pilot Drive is private today, but the good news is it was built to county standards. Like I said, Mr. Zimmer and his company did things right, even though it was unregulated and an unplatted subdivision. He did things right. He built it to county standards. And so we've had it inspected, and it passes inspection for base and asphalt and so forth. So the only conditions to acceptance, and I believe Mr. Thompson can speak to this, is that the county would like us to crack fill the existing pavement and seal coat it. And then, just as we would if we built it today, you would ask us to put a 3-year maintenance bond on a brand-new road. And so we'll do that with this existing road after we do 1 and 2. So with that, we understand the county then would accept Pilot Drive. And of course, we're going to build the new portion out to Murphy Hill Road, and that'll have the same 3-year maintenance obligation. That's code, that's your requirements. With any subdivision, we have to go through all sorts of development review. We have to go through stormwater review, and we've done that. Stormwater review came back with a letter almost a year ago giving us clearance, and then we cleared the Stormwater Advisory Board and Stormwater Management Board this spring with their acceptance and approvals. Valparaiso Utilities will service the new 10 lots with sanitary sewer and water, so that's a good plus and an advantage, we believe, to extend those public utilities. We were here over a year ago in February of 2022 for 2 design waivers, so we will not have subdivision sidewalks. This isn't an industrial park. We're not going to have kids riding bicycles or folks going for walks, so we think that's appropriate. And we have some landscaping relief. The backyards of these businesses in the industrial park are also the backyards of businesses that face US 30 and the frontage road there. So it's not as though we're trying to screen or buffer other homes or nearby uses that would benefit by the landscaping. We're not asking for a waiver of landscaping requirements for on-lot, so we have to have so many trees and shrubs for the on-lot landscaping. It's just that perimeter screening type buffer that we asked for and received relief from you in February of 2022. So with that, we meet all of the requirements for a subdivision. And that 6.21, with the exception of the design waivers, have been met. And therefore, we look forward or hope that we receive your approval of the primary plat for the Skyway Industrial Park. Randy and I, Jim as well, look forward to answering any questions you might have or those that come from the hearing.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, so public hearing. Anybody want to speak in favor of this case? In favor? Seeing none, anybody want to speak against or any questions on this case? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Luther?
Where is the drainage going to?
Sorry. As shown on the screen, Outlot A is designated for a retention facility. The soils out in this area are very sandy, so the stormwater will discharge into a retention basin, which will then just infiltrate into the ground. So there's no formal outlet or traditional outlet with a pipe and which drains into a ditch. This just goes straight into the ground.
And you're going to be served with city water and sewer?
Correct.
Okay, I have no more questions.
Kevin?
Yeah, I was at both the stormwater meetings where we discussed the infiltration and those possibilities. I mentioned that's why Mr. Novotny might be here. So I'm not as concerned with that. Were there any borings done along the existing pavement?
The existing pavement was cored, yes.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure that.
Yeah.
Since there are questions on drainage, Bob, you might address the drainage and Mike.
Drainage Mike can address, and we can also address later about the roads, but I mean, staff was out there when the corings were performed out on the road. We requested it because, I mean, there was a comment, that section of
Okay.
Pilot Drive is private, and they approached us about that, and it was either put a cul-de-sac at the end of the new subdivision area for a public road, or we try to work and look at getting everything public. We felt it was beneficial to try to have everything public, so we cored it and investigated it.
My personal feeling is better to have it public because the access between 400 and 100 North and the connectivity for the benefit of the public at large. So this is a good thing in my mind to make it public.
Okay. We do have some things we would like to talk about later after everybody gets through. I don't know if Mike wants to talk
Okay.
about drainage.
I will call back, yeah. Okay, Nikki?
I think I'm good then for right now to defer.
Greg?
Yeah.
Pam?
Fine.
Commissioner?
I have a question. You said this is not common that you do industrial subdivisions, and I'm just curious as to why it's not common and why you chose this particular.
Well, this is just industrial property, and we want to create the opportunity to create shovel-ready sites for businesses. They're not rare, but it's, if you just look at the history of the business in front of the Plan Commission, whether it's Porter County or the city or even Portage, you don't find that many industrial or even commercial subdivisions. They're more residential, just by the sheer number of them.
So what is the benefit for this particular project? Just the fact that they're shovel-ready? I'm just wondering what the difference is between like an industrial park and an industrial subdivision, if there's any difference.
So the benefit is that we can create in 30 acres 10 businesses, whereas with this parcel, we would only be able to probably get 2 with somewhat of a meets and bounds frontage sell-off on Merva Hill. And then that landlocks the remaining parcel off the back. It's a unique situation because of the previous development, but that's what we would do is come through. If you're going to break this up into more than 1 or 2 uses, you have to do the subdivision, in my opinion. The property is too long and odd-shaped.
Can I explain something?
Yep.
Rick, can I explain something?
Yes.
So all the Plan Commission members know, prior to the Unified Development Ordinance, which was approved in June of 2007, anything that came in this, that eastern portion there with Pilot Drive, anything that came in, the code simply stated that you do not have to go through subdivision control for commercial or industrial property. All you had to do is come in for a development plan. So they split those lots, kind of showed it, did a little recording with the survey of it, and then everything came in with just a development plan. Which each one of those individual lots then has their own stormwater system or ties into a different one. And when we were working on the Unified Development Ordinance, we said, no more. They got to come in for subdivision control so we can basically master plan the area and make it a subdivision. So I mean, industrial subdivision, industrial park or something, it's same thing. So I mean, anything that comes in today that splits industrial land has to go through the subdivision process.
Okay.
Is that all? Okay. Bob?
I have nothing.
Brian?
There's only one area that I would imagine anybody would have a problem with industrial going in, would be in Lot 2, adjacent to the Williamsburg Manor manufactured home part. Is there going to be any mitigation? I know you already got approval for the lack of peripheral landscaping, is that correct?
Yes.
What year was that?
22, I believe.
Last year.
It's
It was last
February.
year.
I think it was last year.
Well, my question is there going to be mitigation of Lot 2 just to make sure, that's the only place that I see residential around this whole entire complex.
Yeah,
Well, if-
there's, go ahead.
The waiver that was granted required a 60-foot conservation easement along that boundary.
Perfect.
Up against that, so.
We're done.
Very good. Okay.
That's all it took.
Bob and Mike, you want to address the drainage or private roads?
I thought I saw conservation easements, and I was wondering.
Questions, I think Mr. Leith, Attorney Leith, has summarized the drainage system well, and Mr. Peterson as well. So if there's any particular questions, I mean, we thoroughly reviewed, as we do all subdivisions, for conformance with our design and construction standards, including our stormwater standards. There were geotechnical investigations performed in the infiltration basin. We're confident that the design infiltration rates that are built in and used as the basis of design for those infiltration basins will be achieved, and probably will see a little bit better infiltration than per the design rates. So we feel the drainage system is more than adequate, certainly conforms with our standards to serve this development. And we talked about the existing road. Our Highway Engineering Division thoroughly investigated that with the assistance of Mr. Zimmer and the two gentlemen sitting in front of you. We found that the existing roadway meets county road standards, was built to standards. So with those maintenance items that Mr. Leith touched on and that 3-year maintenance agreement and guarantee, we'll happily take that road and add it to county-maintained roadways, rights of way. And I think it makes sense, it's in the best interest of both parties, in this case, the county and the developer, to avoid having a cul-de-sac or T turnaround, I think, as Mr. Brightsky alluded to in his comments. So happy to entertain any additional questions that the commission might have.
Anybody have any questions for Mike?
Just a heads up, Mike and his staff did a good job with the infiltration. This is a unique circumstance because the soil types
We have-
here,
yes.
that we can do
We
this
have
here.
great sandy substrate out here with a fairly deep, shallow groundwater table. So there's not only good soils, but plenty of what you call driving head to move that water into and underground.
One thing we do ask as far as staff goes, the 3 conditions that Mr. Leith showed up there, the road, we ask that if there is a motion to approve, that they contain that as a condition for the approval.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion? Any other questions or motion? Kevin?
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve it specific to the staff recommendations for the road. That was the 3-year maintenance bond. And I forgot the other requirements.
Right there,
I put them on your
crack fill,
screen.
seal coat.
Thank you. Oh, the crack. Gosh darn it, it's right in front of me. Crack fill, existing pavement, seal coat, existing pavement, and the 3-year maintenance guarantee. Thank you, Bob.
Okay.
I second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Ballot voting?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's on the later one. But I wonder if it's on like, one of the ones from this department.
Listen to this.
Thank you for the new Rara pins, we didn't think it was a silly color. That might have looked at me funny. Take one down, pass it around.
These applications that are
You got some more stuff?
up and down.
Thank you. Here you go.
She's like, "Why would I say what else we have in our meeting?
Is this going to be a gravity sewer or force main?
Back and forth.
Gravity.
Voting is as follows: Brian Damitz, yes. Bob Giliano, yes. Fish, yes. Barb Regmans, yes. Greg Sims, yes. Luther Williams, yes. Nikki Witkowski, yes. Kevin Brightsky, yes. Rick Burns, yes. Motion carries 9-0.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Archie and Zeus.
How to make salad.
Any other matters or information?
I like everything with salad. Archie and Zeus.
Now, just so you all know and everything like that, you are being videotaped and recorded now. You will be on YouTube later, posted.
Oh, now you tell us.
Now you tell us.
Yes. So, yeah, that's another thing, we've got it. So, we've been requested to make sure that all of our meetings are posted up on the website, so that way they can be seen by the public, so they are, so that way you guys know. The other thing is because they're doing a overhaul of the system here, and they're starting it on June 28th, we have a meeting on June 28th, which we have cases. And they're requesting us to go down to 102A. We do not have equipment to record for 102A, so I don't know what to do about these meetings. They're two rezonings, and they both want to move. But unfortunately, we can't use this room.
Can we move those forward a week, possibly?
BZA.
We share it.
And there's a,
Is it
we've got to
they,
work through how to do the notice and everything like that, because BZA notices have been going out. Yeah, I mean, we're
Well,
already
I'm not
past-
talking eliminate BZA, but I don't think there's enough business for more than an hour and a half for each
Most
meeting.
meetings start at 5:30.
That's a good point. Scott just reached over and mentioned, instead of, what is it, June 28th, is Tuesday, June 27th, a possibility for people?
Don't we have a council meeting?
Tuesday, yeah. Yes.
I
never
may
mind.
not be able to do that, but if I'm the only one, obviously foreseen.
How about we have one?
Well, again, it might be me, I might be able to make plans and arrangements, I just cannot promise today.
Willow Creek?
Commission? No.
Well, Bob, can I ask,
We're
Is it
still-
because-
we're not even have a date yet, so.
Yeah, we don't even.
well, no,
have
what I was
a date.
gonna ask though, is the problem is you don't have equipment, because I have equipment in my office for video recording.
Yeah, but this is a huge board.
Well,
It's just.
and that was my other concern of are we actually gonna
102A
fit?
It's gonna be a little cramped.
Yes.
and
A lot.
These two rezonings could bring people out.
Okay, never mind. And there's no chance of maybe going to like the expo?
No.
They're not required.
So.
Just tell Lee he has to wait a day.
I won't be here.
I don't know if I can be the one to tell Lee. You could tell Lee to wait a second.
Without getting into it, I'm not sure we could tell the vendor to wait a day.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
To be determined.
okay, to be determined, okay,
We'll let you know.
okay. Okay, to be determined. Okay, is it-
What's the harm?
I don't know, because I don't know. I don't know what these cases are.
It's rezoned.
they're thinking.
No, Bob, I told Lee he couldn't do it the day of our commissioners meeting or the day of the council meeting.
Date for the meeting.
So,
I don't know.
I don't know,
We'll
I do not
investigate
know.
102A. It could end up being in 102A if we see that there is recording equipment available for us. It's just, it's gonna be a little cramped. We're gonna be nice and cozy.
I just realized I won't be able to be there if it is Tuesday through Thursday that week,
It's gonna be,
period.
we're gonna look at the Wednesday day.
Yeah, I'm saying, I won't be there,
Okay.
period then. Sorry, I'll be at a conference those 3 days.
Okay, all right. Well, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, okay. Meeting's adjourned, thank you.
Do we have to record it? I mean,
Yes.
we just started recording today, and
No.
Two
it's
different
not the-
kinds of recordings.